Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Big Air 01 here coming at you with a video on my son's 1983 Yamaha PW50. In this video, we are going to install the brand new fatty pipe from FMF and the FMF silencer. I've had the FMF pipe for quite some time. I was waiting on the silencer to show up. Unfortunately, it took about 6 months for it to show up, but I'm excited to see what it sounds like. I'll do a sound test at the end of the video of the stock exhaust to the new exhaust, and I'll talk a little bit about all the mods that I've done to this bike. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright guys, here we are with my exhaust that we're going to install on the little PW50. I'll put a link in the part numbers down below as to what part numbers I used, and I ordered mine from Fortnite and also the dealership, so I ordered mine from the silencer from the dealership, and it took about 6 months to get. So obviously we have the Gold Series fatty pipe from FMF, and we've also got the PowerCore 2 from FMF for the silencer. It came with some instructions on how to install it. It's pretty basic. Some of the tools that we're going to need is we're going to need a 10mm socket, 10mm wrench to take the heads off. We're also going to need a 12mm socket, which is not here, but you do need a 12mm to take part of the exhaust off. And then we'll just need a screwdriver to remove some of the plastics. Okay, so we're going to remove the plastics first. There's 2 bolts under here. So to remove the exhaust, you have a 10mm bolt here, a 12mm bolt here, and 2 10mm bolts underneath attached to your head. So I always like to start at the back. Next we got a 12mm bolt here. And lastly, we have 2 10mm bolts underneath here to take the exhaust off. Okay, so the stock exhaust is out. Alright, so let's look at the 2 differences here between these exhausts. Obviously this is stainless steel and it's polished. It's going to look a little nicer than the stock one. It does have a little bit different of a chamber here. It's a little thicker here, but this is smaller. You know, as for the downpipe, it looks like it's all the same pretty much. The holes, you know, look a little bit different. This one's a tiny, I mean, they look about the same actually. This one just has the washer that you put on the stock bike. But, you know, for the most part, that's the difference between the 2 exhausts. Hopefully, you know, it's pretty easy to install. It does come with some hardware, I believe, to hook up here. So let's get on the install. Okay, so I've already cleaned between the face of the head here where the exhaust is going to actually go on. And then we'll put this together here. So make sure you clean it because you don't want any dirt or anything like that getting inside your cylinder. Okay, so all I did was just just kind of get it so it's somewhat snug. We'll fit up the rest of the exhaust first before we tighten the exhaust down. Looks like that bolt lines right up. So for now, we'll just put that like this just to get it ready in there. Alright, here's the two silencers. As you can see, there's quite a bit of difference there. You'll need to use this hardware when you're installing the new one. If you're using the stock exhaust, I think it just plugs in, I don't know. But that's what this is the difference between the two. A little bigger output there, but let's bolt it on. So guys, I'm going to use the stock rubber just because I want to have a good seal. Obviously you can use some silicone for the joint if you want a proper seal, but that's what I'm going to use for now. You take your hardware and your old bolt and you're going to mount it here. Just kind of get it loosely fit so that you can line it all up. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got it all mounted up. It looks pretty sick with that chrome stainless steel pipe from FMF. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I did. It's basically just tightening up some bolts, but I basically started here. I want you to see that there's two bolts here that I tightened up. You want to make sure that you have a nice tight seal on the head to the header, and that's why you start here. You get it nice and flat and flush in there, and then you work your way to these bolts and these two bolts here. So you can use a silicone to have this joint sealed properly. I'm choosing just to use the rubber stock band that comes with the stock exhaust. The instructions say to make sure that you have no wires that can get burnt or anything like that, so make sure you keep your wires away from your exhaust. And yeah, so I have a few mods done to this bike. I wanted to talk to you about this because the instructions say that if you do change the exhaust, you want to change the jetting. So, but before we go into that, let's talk about, you know, I know a lot of people say that these things run really rich. As you can really tell, I mean, this bike runs, I think, pretty smoothly now before I put the exhaust on. I have the unifilter pod installed to help richen up or help lean out the fuel mixture. I've got the oil block off kit that I've done, so I mix my own gas. I have Boyson reeds in here. I've got a big bore kit that I just recently installed, and I've done all these mods to help increase how this bike runs and just to make it run better. And I know it's a bit of money, but these bikes, you know, they can be a lot of fun for a young one. So, but if you want to check out all those videos, definitely check them out on my channel. But right now, I have the stock jetting in there of a 70 main jet. But a lot of people say that, you know, these bikes run better on a 65 to help lean out the air fuel mixture. But we're gonna fire it up first, just because we put a bigger exhaust on it, or a more unrestricted exhaust. Likely we won't have to change that 70 main jet, and I'll let you know at the very end if I feel like it's something that needs to be changed. But for now, let's put it back together and see if this thing fires up and how it sounds. right, guys, she's running pretty sweet. She's running pretty crisp. Obviously, this is a combination of all the mods that I've done to this bike to make it run like that. You know, just installing that exhaust may not be enough for you. You may have to do some of the things that I've done, like the oil block off, the air filter, you know, the big bore kit, all of that stuff. You know, those are things that, you know, they're pretty reasonably priced, except for the exhaust. The exhaust was the most expensive part. And, you know, once it's cooled down, you want to make sure that you re-torque up your bolts to make sure they haven't come loose. I'm probably going to put a piece of heat shield on the back of this because, well, that's touching and that could get pretty hot and potentially melt that. Obviously, you can buy a guard for your kid to help protect them from the heat from the exhaust. I'm not putting the stock on. I'm just going to leave it like that. And yeah, you can, like I said, if you want to get a better seal, use some high temp silicone. And you know, if you find that there's any exhaust leaks, obviously you're going to want to check to make sure you do all that. So, but my son's getting to the age almost where he's almost outgrowing this bike, so we may end up having to sell this thing in the future. And it's sad that it took 6 months for that exhaust to show up, but it is what it is. It is COVID, and I hope everybody's out there safe. But I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. I mean, in the end, I'm quite happy with that. And hopefully this video was helpful for you. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. If you want to see a comparison video between my son's PW50 and my son's PW80 over there, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll maybe put a video together. You know, I'm not quite done the PW80, but you know, at least we can do a comparison video on the size and this and that if you're out there shopping for one of these bikes. So drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.